Hi, everybody. I am so happy to be speaking today with Renee Marie Plant. Renee Marie was one of our Modern Salon 100s in 2018. She is a Modern Salon Artist Connective artist. She has been a stylist for 17, 18 years. She's very established in the industry, but she's literally sort of outgrown her own name. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means to her, a rebranding, transitioning process. But first, Renee, I just want you to kind of introduce yourself and tell us why you initially chose beauty as a career.
Oh, wow. Well, Anne, thank you so much and Modern Salon for having me on here. I'm like beaming right now because I'm just so excited to share these things with you. And I chose beauty. I mean, if I can think back 18 years ago, uh, I chose it as kind of like my second option. I wanted to be a singer and actress. And my parents said, well, if you're not going to go to college, you need to go to trade school. So I said, oh, I'll do cosmetology school. I liked braiding hair. I was a creative, I was an artist, and I said, maybe I could do this, right? And that's where it all began is my second choice, and I ended up loving it. And during beauty school, I was like, oh my gosh, I love doing event styling. And that's where my love of updos began.
That's great. And I love that you said um, a second choice sort of became your first choice. It's wonderful when that happens, when we're sort of forced into something, but then it evolves into something really wonderful. And yes, you are known now for really, I would say, your bridal styling, your up styling, your special occasion styling. And you grew a really significant following on Instagram, people coming in. I remember you were doing like tutorials, regular weekly tutorials, but you made an announcement recently about just that, about what having this large following and this presence has kind of pushed you to do around rebranding. Talk a little bit about that because you've gone through different transitions in your career, and this is a big one.
Yeah. So, and that's it is I've had so many transitions in the past 17 years, and they were all just kind of just piling up. And I said, okay, well, with all these things that I have going on and what everything I have to offer others, does my name, Styles by Renee Marie, my Instagram I started, I think it was about 7 years ago. I really need to count that, but probably around 7 or 8 years ago. And that was my name when I first started. And I was feeling like it wasn't really explaining like what I do anymore, because I haven't honestly done bridal hair, like a bridal party or a bride, in the past year and a half to 2 years. I've been focusing just on bridal hair education and my online stuff and in-person classes. So and other courses and programs. And I'm like, is this really telling people like who I am and what I offer? No. So to make that decision was it just was a decision that I made, and I said, okay, I have to do it. And I was really great. I was excited and really scared last night. I went live on my Instagram and I announced that I was changing my Instagram name, that I outgrew it. And it was the scariest thing, just erasing my old name, all the things that I've had tied to it. I mean, awards, my connection with Modern Salon and the growth with you. I mean, for years, from just tagging you in my post when I used to do cut and color, to now being an artist connective member and Modern Salon 100. I mean, all those things happened under my name of Styles by Renee Marie. So it was a really emotional thing. It wasn't just changing my name. It was I'm like so emotional. Like I'm not crying right now, but inside I am, because it was just, there was so many things tied to it. I mean, so many transitions that I've made, so many awards that I've won, so many competitions that I've done that are linked to that name. And it was just a very emotional thing, and but so needed. And I feel so good about it now. And I've had so much support from others with that name change. So I'm really blessed to have that community.
I love how you described that it didn't describe what you do anymore because you outgrew your name. You became, as you said, an educator. You were doing in-person sessions, virtual sessions. We were forced into a lot of that. But the coaching that you do now, it is much more than you as a stylist. It is you as an educator, an entrepreneur, a motivator. So will you, and I mean, pre-Instagram, nobody would have understood the risk of this. As you said, your name is attached to so much work. Um, is there a way to reinvigorate or to even start another account so that your name, that Styles by Renee Marie, is still out there? I have no idea. I'm just
Yeah,
wondering.
so I did some research before I actually did this, because since there are so many things tied to it, I didn't want someone to look up Styles by Renee Marie and then just not find me at all. So what I'm actually going to do is open another account with Styles by Renee Marie, put up one post, and that one post is going to say Styles by Renee Marie is now Renee Marie Academy. So it can just kind of direct people to my account. So my Styles by Renee Marie Instagram, that was what I went on to the settings and I deleted the name and I changed it to Renee Marie Academy. So that I didn't lose my following. I didn't have to tell my followers, hey, follow my new account. It was just an easier switch to do that. But there is like a grace period where like you can't make another account with your old name. Like they give you, I don't know, when I changed it, it said like within 14 days you could change it back. So let's say I'm like, I don't like this, let me change it back, which I'm not doing. It'll let you change it back to the one that you had. So I think I have to wait during that, that grace period. And then after those 14 days, I think I'm able to create a new account with my old name and then just do that, just direct people to my new name.
Good research. Research is always good. We connected just yesterday because I am working on a piece about what stylists need to take into the future, what they need to know going forward. We've been through such a crazy time, and I think we all maybe made some shifts or adapted and adjusted and took on some new skills even. But you had some things to share about that, on what you think stylists are going to need moving ahead. What are they?
Wow. So I think the biggest thing through this whole pandemic that I've learned is how important community is, how important it is to have those people in your industry who you can depend on and talk to. Have a couple of those people that you're like, hey girl, I gotta talk this one out. I don't know what's going on, because I was at my worst when I was in my own head, when I was trying to do things on my own. And I have done things on my own for so long. And it's only been within the past, I would say 2 years, where I reached out. I found a business coach. I reached out to my friends and really networked with my amazing friends in the industry and talked through difficult things that I was going through. And I think the biggest thing I want people to know is that you're not alone. There are those beautiful communities, and one of them I have cultivated. It's called Bridal Beauty Confidence, and it's a Facebook community of bridal stylists and makeup artists. And they're just also amazingly supportive in that group. And it just shows how beautiful this industry can really be. Because I remember a girl that was in a member of one of my courses sharing with me in one of our Zoom sessions, just a really horrible experience with someone in her location that was very cutthroat. It was very competitive. And it doesn't have to be that way. So if people can just really ground themselves and know themselves, first of all, like realize, okay, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What do I have to offer that's different than anyone else? And then to really be able to share that with others and be able to talk about it with others in the industry, that is the number one most important thing, because I don't think I would have been able to really do any of these changes if I didn't have my right hand people that I talk to, my right hand friends, my coaches, my mentors. If I did not have that, it wouldn't be so easy for me to be doing all these big things, to be launching my styling course that I did when I was pregnant, to be launching Bridal the Business, my mentorship program. I would have never been able to do that if I didn't hire people to help me, or talk to my friends in the industry about, hey, is this a good idea? What do you think of this? If I didn't ask, my community, hey, what do you guys want? What do you guys need? If I was just like, hey, I'm just going to create this because I think you need this, it wouldn't have worked out. So it's really important to involve others and to network with others.
I love that. So that makes so much sense. Like you said, we've all been in our own heads. We've been alone, honestly, often forced to it. You mentioned when you were talking about transitions, even before we started recording, that you had moved from being in a sort of team-based salon to being an independent. What was that move like for you? That's a big transition.
That was a really big transition. And I remember that day I was working at a blow dry bar in Boca Raton, Florida, where I lived for 6 years. I'm originally from New York, and when I was 23, I moved down there, and that's where I was working. And I said, I can't do this. I can't show up at this blow dry bar and be this crazy passionate stylist wanting to do bridal hair and sitting around waiting for the next person to come in to get their hair blow dried. Like, this is not me. I was just doing it for just a paycheck. And I said, I have to stop. I have to stop this. This is not where my heart is at. This is not where my passion's at. And it's limiting me from growing. So if something's limiting me from growing, a change has to be made. And I remember being like, I'm going to do it. And I established Styles by Renee Marie, LLC. And I said, I'm just going to do this thing. And through that, I did. It kind of forced me to, because I wasn't getting paid unless I worked my ass off and figured out how I was going to get paid. So
Right.
it really forced me to focus on what I needed to do in order to survive at being my only business, being, depending on myself and
Sure.
being a solo business owner.
Do you, in your kind of education mentorship program, are you working with stylists who are in all different sort of settings? I mean, not just the independent, but a stylist who is in a commission salon, or even somebody. Are you ever working with people who want to just, level up their skills in general?
Absolutely. And the reason is because I've been through it all. I've been the stylist just getting out of beauty school. I've been the stylist doing cut and colors and having a passion for bridal and trying to do both. I've been that person who has transitioned and just owned their own business. And I've transitioned into now having online courses and being a coach and a mentor. So since I've hit all those bases, I welcome people who are beginners, who are somewhere in the middle, who are somewhere where I'm at, or, you know, not knowing exactly where they want to go. And I help guide them, because I think that I would have made different decisions and gotten to places sooner and been happier if I would have had that guidance and clarity from someone. And I think that there isn't that clarity given. So I wanted to give bridal stylists that clarity. Like, hey, if you're a beginner, these are the 3 different things you can do. You can, be an assistant. You can work for a bridal company, or you can choose to work on your brand and start your own company. If you're somewhere in the middle, you can work with brands. You can be your own, you could be your own brand educator, or you can work for other brands and be an educator. Or if you're, you have all that going on and you're working with brands, and maybe you want to branch out and, do online courses or do coaching and mentoring, you can do that as well. So I think that there was just never there's never anyone that told you, hey, here's a roadmap, here's what you can do, and here's how you can build yourself to become, who you want to be. um that gives you like, wow, you can like really zero in and be like, okay, I can see the big picture now. I can see where I'm at this moment, and I can see that I can get there, all by being guided by myself, but not only myself. And that's why I started my mentorship program. It's by other mentors who are an expert in their field. So we have a branding specialist, we have a marketing specialist, we have someone who works on scaling. If you're not sure how to move into scaling a team and growing a team. So there's just all those different layers. We have a lawyer that can help you with contracts. I mean, all the different layers and pillars of a bridal business I have in Bridal the Business, my mentorship program. And I don't know everything. I've been through a lot, but I don't know it all. I'm not an expert in everything and everything. And I would never want to guide people in something that I'm like unsure of. So that's why I have collectively this group of mentors, so that everyone can highlight and share what they're an expert in the most, and help these individuals figure out how to navigate through their business.
Yeah, it's really one-stop shopping, it sounds like, right? And so you rebranded to at Renee Marie Academy,
Yeah.
which, and I love what you said about that rebranding and making transitions in your life, that you wouldn't have done them if you hadn't had someone helping you through that sort of rocky, scary time. And maybe, we're going to talk more in the future, more about your mentorship program and your education and coaching. So I'm glad we got to touch on it. But I would love to close out with you offering advice to stylists, beauty professionals who are feeling kind of stuck,
Mm.
just feeling like it's a scary time, everything's so uncertain. How do I make a leap or a shift into something new? What would you say to them? What would you say is your best maybe transition advice?
Yeah, I would say don't do it alone. Reach out for help. Reach out to me, send me a DM, join my Bridal Beauty Confidence Facebook group, reach out to girls in that group. Reach out and don't be in your head and feel like you have to do it alone, because we've all been through stuff and we can all help each other. And there's a power in numbers. One person's experience, can help another. And if we all share our experiences and share what has helped us in our experiences, that's only going to make all of us grow and be successful. So I would say just stop comparing yourself. It is just toxic to be on social media being like, oh, I want to be there. I feel so bad that I can't be doing this. No, you stop right there. You get the foundation of what you need, which is a community. Find a tribe to be in. Then you talk these things out. I mean, one of the highlights that I have in my mentorship program is our clarity calls. And that's where we all get together and we talk about our struggles that we're having. We talk about our wins and say how we got there, so we can all help each other together, because it's scary doing it alone. And you get kind of frozen when you do it on your own, and you won't make those big transitions that you need to because you're afraid. And rightfully so, to be in your own mind saying, oh, I really can't do this. Why? And coming up with all these reasons, instead of saying, okay, how can I do this? Who can I ask? And how can I work through this to be happy? Because we all want to create a business we love, and we all, are in this because we're passionate about styling. And that's the end goal, right? Is to just be in your business and just truly love it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. And I wish you every success. It's so exciting. Thank you, Renee Marie Plant of Renee Marie Academy, for joining us today on Choose Beauty.
Thank you so much for having me here today. And I really just appreciate everything that you guys do at Modern. You are just so transparent and wonderful. And it's just a pleasure, just being on a part of your team.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Renee. Bye-bye.